Greetings, YouTube. So I was listening to NPR not long ago, and they had a really, really white dude on there, and he was talking about how the public square must be open to all speech. Now, when I hear somebody say something like that, I can think of one of two positions that they are actually taking. One is a position of absolute ignorance. And I say this as someone that used to say that same line of bullshit, that the public square must be open to all forms of speech, that the best counter to bad speech is more speech. That is wrong. That is not true. Not in the least. It wasn't true the first time I thought it, the first time I said it. It's not true now. And the second reason somebody might say that the public square must be open to all speech is someone who is a bad actor, someone who is pushing an agenda, quite possibly, seeing this is an American situation he's discussing, one of white nationalism. He wants the public square open to all speech so that people will hear white nationalistic speech. They will hear anti-gay speech, anti-trans speech. They will hear misogynistic speech. They will hear anti-immigrant, anti-non-Christian. They will hear everything that he wants them to hear that benefits him and his particular narrative, because he would be a bigot. So I actually don't know what the position is in this case. Maybe he's just incredibly ignorant and is just carrying water for the white nationalism, as I did, or maybe he is an actual white nationalist. But the problem is that we have, again, arrived at the paradox of tolerance, that a just society cannot tolerate intolerance. For a just society to be just, we have to say that there are some things not open to discussion, and civil liberties and human rights are two of them. You cannot have discussions about them unless, of course, it's about trying to expand them to include more people. We can discuss that. But you cannot discuss who can be excluded from having human rights and civil liberties. That is not a discussion we can have. If someone wants to discuss who is unworthy, they're a bigot. Quite possibly, again, because this is America, white nationalists. We can't have that discussion because it isn't a discussion. It is propaganda that only assists the bad actors. Now, one of the things that the talking head on the episode was mentioning was misinformation and disinformation. Now, there's a difference between those two things, and I don't know if a lot of people understand there is a difference between those two things. If your Uncle Bob tells people that lizard people from the center of the earth are controlling the banks in Switzerland, that's misinformation. If he truly believes this is the reality, it's misinformation. It's not true. He believes it's true. That's misinformation. He is not directly benefiting from that in a material or a political way. He's just spreading what he considers to be the truth, when in actuality, it's BS. That's misinformation. Disinformation is when someone intentionally spreads the idea that lizard people from the center of the earth are controlling the banks in Switzerland because it benefits them either politically or materially. They make some kind of financial buck off of you believing that because you're buying their book or they're attending their speeches or they're shilling, gold bullions or something like that, which is supposed to be a safer bet than the Swiss banks, of course, which are being controlled by lizard people. That's disinformation. That person is a bad actor, and they are intentionally spreading lies, but those lies benefit them. Now, you see it amongst bigots all the time. They will say lies about any other group that they despise. And unfortunately, a lot of the times it seems that these folks are projecting, because you will hear say, well, group X is dangerous, only to discover at some point in the future from that statement that the person saying that is actually involved with that group as a member, or is guilty of the crime that they are casting upon the other group. They are projecting. Some of that is because social conservatives often think that if they'll do it, other people will do it. So if they will lie, cheat, and steal to get where they want, and social conservatism has to lie, cheat, and steal. It's part of the very warp and weft of the fabric of their reality. They make the assumption that progressives also lie, cheat, and steal. So when they don't lie, cheat, and steal, social conservatives are baffled by this. They don't get it when someone from the progressive position says, no, 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 people should have housing and food and education and health care. And it should be by public good. And it should be funded by the public, because it is a public good if everyone is housed and fed and healthy and educated. That benefits all of us if those things are true. But the social conservatives will say, oh, no, no, that can't be the big, because they can't imagine saying something like that unless they were lying. Because the only people they think deserve those things are whoever the in-group that they belong to is. Remember, one of the foundations of social conservatism is that there is an in-group that benefits from the law but is not beholden to it. And everyone else is beholden to the law but does not benefit from it. That's like the foundational block of social conservatism. So you'll hear that kind of thing all the time. And so these bad actors are spreading disinformation sometimes because they legitimately think the other side's doing the same thing, which they aren't, because these are not open to debate. These are not equal topics. These are not equal positions to take. Saying someone deserves food is not the same as the Republican Party right now saying that they want to make a major portion of their current platform to make sure that no child in America receives a free school lunch or breakfast. They want to deny children food because they're socially conservative nut jobs. They are evil. There is no other way I can couch that. If you want to deny children food, that's evil. And it means that you are categorically not a Christian. You are not following the words of Christ. Not even a little bit. I don't even think Satan wants you. So, yeah, we have to know the difference between misinformation and disinformation. Uncle Bob is spouting misinformation. The person that fed Uncle Bob that information is spreading disinformation. And we have to understand that the public square is not a place where all ideas must be treated equally, because some ideas are flat out not worth our time. And if somebody says this group doesn't deserve human rights or civil liberties, or those children don't deserve food, you know that their position is bullshit. They should not be listened to. And if somebody starts echoing those talking points, you need to call them on that bullshit. And if somebody honestly and sincerely from a position of ignorance is saying things like all speech is equal and that the counter to bad speech is more speech, like I used to do, they need to be informed that not only are they wrong, but they're assisting the bad actors even if they themselves are not a deliberate bad actor. So why would you carry water for the bad actors? Why would you assist them? I didn't want to. I didn't know I was doing it. I was. Now I'm not. Now I'm calling bullshit when I hear bullshit. And having somebody get onto NPR and tell the whole darn world that the public square must be a place where all ideas are treated equally is bullshit. Dangerous. Dangerous bullshit.